Familia, I know we've all been worried since the election, but yesterday in class, my teacher handed out some materials called Know Your Rights, and reading through them made me feel more prepared. All immigrants living in the U.S., even those who are undocumented, have rights guaranteed by the Constitution. We can't predict if immigration officers will look for you and Dad because you don't have legal status, but we can be prepared and have a good plan in place if they do.
You're right, Mija. Let's make a plan together.
First, we should find a local legal aid organization or pro bono attorney that helps immigrants. We need to seek the help of a qualified legal professional, not a notario. Notarios are not legally qualified to provide immigration help, and some are just looking to scam us. A legal professional can help us if anything happens. I don't think we have to worry about this, but the Know Your Rights materials said that people who have criminal records and people who have been deported are at high risk and should see a lawyer now. Second, and this one is really important, Mom and Dad, you need to play detective and find, make copies, and organize into a binder all of our important documents. IDs, birth certificates, marriage, medical, financial and school records, and immigration records and letters, including your alien registration number if you have one, the 8-digit number that begins with an A. You can share these with a lawyer to keep them safe. You should also ask the lawyer about how you can designate someone else to care for me and Marty, since we're minors, if you are detained or deported. The options will be different in different states, but may include a guardianship, a caregiver's authorization affidavit, a power of attorney, or other types of letters or forms. This person should be someone you trust who has legal status. This designation means that if anything happens that makes it hard for you to communicate with us, like you are placed in a detention center, the person you've chosen can step in and make important decisions to keep our family from being separated. Mama, you joke about your memory going, but you need to memorize the name and phone number for the lawyer, for me, and for the guardians you choose for me and Marty. We should also start saving money for legal fees or bonds. We can check to see if there is a community bond fund nearby. This is important for all of us to know. If they come here, to the house, don't open the doors. No abran las puertas. Everyone, say it with me.
No abran las puertas.
ICE is only allowed to enter if they have a warrant with your correct name and address signed by a judge. Ask them to slip it under the door so you can examine it.
But Leah, what if they have a warrant with Mama's name on it?
Then we all need to stay calm and call an attorney right away. We need to look at the warrant carefully and see whether it is signed by a judge or an immigration official. ICE usually will have a warrant of deportation or removal, which is signed by an immigration official, not a judge, and does not give them permission to enter the home even if Mama's name is on it, unless we give them permission. In that case, we should not open the door. Although opening the door does not mean that we are giving them permission to enter our home, officers may say later that we did. Don't say anything to them except, "I have the right to remain silent." Also, do not sign any papers. You do not have to sign anything without your lawyer there. We should record the incident on our phones and take notes of the officer's badge number, agency, and full name, as well as the details of everything that happens. Mom and Dad, make sure to tell the officers you have children, since we are U.S. citizens and it could impact whether or not they choose to detain you. If your friends' children are undocumented, however, they might not want to mention them in case ICE decides to detain them as well.
Are they allowed to arrest me in a public place, like a park or the street?
Only if they have a warrant with your name on it. Otherwise, to arrest you, they need evidence that you are a non-citizen. Remember to stay calm and not to run. If you are stopped, ask the officer, "Am I being arrested or detained?" If the officer says no, then ask, "Am I free to leave?" If they say yes, calmly walk away. If they arrest you, remember the plan we made and ask to call your lawyer. Remember, you have the right to remain silent and refuse a search. And Dad, if they come to the restaurant and do a raid, same rules apply. Make sure you make a plan with your coworkers that you trust ahead of time, where everyone agrees to stay calm, not to run, and to stay silent. Remember, employers don't have to let anybody enter their building without a search or arrest warrant. Same goes for schools.
What about if I'm driving Marty to soccer practice and the police stop me?
Show the police your driver's license. If you do not have a valid license, you should not be driving. If they ask, show your car registration and proof of insurance. Other than that, you don't have to say anything else. If an officer or immigration agent asks to look inside your car, you can tell them that you refuse to consent to the search. But if police believe your car contains evidence of a crime, your car can be searched without your consent. In all of these situations, it's important to stay calm, stay silent, don't mention where you were born or how you entered the US, record details and names, and not run away. Also, make sure never to carry fake papers or identification with you. That will make the situation worse if you're stopped. Don't carry papers from another country with you, such as a foreign passport. Such papers could be used against you in the deportation process. If you are taken to a police station, you have the right to make a phone call to your lawyer. Now, Mama, what will you do if they detain you and take you to the police station? What did we say in the plan?
I will show my license or ID if I'm required to give my name. Stay silent, not sign any papers, and ask to call my lawyer.
Yay! Exactly, Mom! Also, make sure to ask for bonds so that we can hopefully pay for your release. You also have the right to call your consulate and to ask for copies of your immigration papers and charges, as well as your notice to appear.
Leah, you're right. I feel a little better knowing that we are prepared and that our family knows the plan. I love you guys.
I'm proud of our family and our community. Together, we are stronger.